Welcome to RuralVacantLand.com. Excuse me. This is Luke Smith. Excuse me. Luke Smith, RuralVacantLand.com. Starting a new live feed Monday, July, I should know the date, 16th. And today I would like to talk about, there's a live event coming up. Winners from the last live video. Current inventory, like deals, recent deals that have come up on the website, land for sale deals. I'd like to talk about new deals. I've got a big stack of mail that's come in, signed offers from people that want to sell their land. And I thought, I'm just going on the phone as fast as I can. I don't have, or hardly ever have a chance to get through new deals. So I thought I'd just start pulling up new deals and just do some live and research some deals, go through research and deals. And if you guys wanted some of the deals, that's cool too. But probably pounding out deals. And then land giveaway. I'm going to ask a basic question towards the end of this video and give some land away to somebody that's watching. So let's get into it. Let me change one setting here, see if I could speed up some connections. Looks like we got a couple people signing into the chat. And so thank you guys. Thanks for signing in. Sorry, I got a couple screens and clicking buttons. So let's start out with live event first. I was invited to speak at a live event put on by Land Academy in Los Angeles, and it's coming up. Let me put it on the screen. Let's see. It's coming up September 21st to the 23rd, and it's called a beginner session. They teach you how to buy and sell land, and buy it cheap and sell it for half of what everyone else is selling it for. Basically the same thing I'm always doing every day, buying and selling land, right? So if you want to learn how to buy and sell land, these guys at Land Academy are teaching. This course is landinvestorslive.com. I'm not paid to promote this or anything. It's just I believe in it. They taught me a lot, and this program's coming up. I think it's pretty much sold out, but there's I just clicked it a minute ago. I did the reserve a seat and pulled it up here, and they've got it beginner member live event. They've got one seat left, so there's only room for one more person at the event. I think it's 40 people total, so it's pretty small. Small intimate crowd, and they're charging $1,500, I guess it is. And they give away a bunch of stuff too. I think they give away land and data and all kinds of things. Someone's saying no video, Luke. Turn camera on. Someone else says I have video. It seems to be flowing on my side. I got a bunch of green lights, so I'm gonna just think it's maybe the one person not getting it. Hopefully, if everyone else is having problems, let me know. And so that's that deal. After that one, they've got the next one coming up is in October, I believe, October 5th through the 7th. They're charging more for that one. That one's $3,000. It's supposed to be people that have bought and sold more than 10 properties. And more detailed, more information, I'm guessing. And they're also giving out their next program of how to buy and sell land, the updated version of this in today's markets. And it's in Los Angeles. It's someone's saying what city? Yeah, LA. I think it's Huntington Beach, LA. I'm not exactly sure. It's along the coast. I think it's southern LA. And yeah, so someone A2 saying how much does it cost to attend? So the beginner one's $1,500. The intermediate one's $3,000. This isn't me selling it. This is just me telling you about one that I'm speaking at. If you wanted to go, and yeah, you probably gotta book travel and hotel and pay the fee and yeah, but I bet you'll learn a lot. And you probably come out of there buying and selling land like a madman and making money off of it. So that's topic 1 for today's video. Topic 2, I want to talk about the winners from the last video. So let's dive into that. I pulled up the comments from the last video. This last video was published Monday the 9th, and it was titled Live Land Giveaway with Luke at A-Frames. I was talking about A-frame buildings and saying how much fun it'd be to build one someday, and hoping I could get some designs, like a good, cheap, easy source for designs, or free even. And whoever puts some in the comments and gets a thumbs up, gets the most likes, wins. So the one that's getting the most likes or replies, there's only 3. There's not much competition out here, guys. Not that many people follow this stuff. Is TL Frazier. So I was looking at this, and maybe I should update it unless somebody else just clicked a bunch of stuff. But I think I'm gonna go with TL Frazier because he had the most. Someone had like lots of 1s and maybe a 2, but TL Frazier had 3 people that liked his. And so TL Frazier, if you're watching this video now or later on or whenever, I got you put in my spreadsheet, ready to go. I'm going to give you some land. I need your information. So if you would email, too much stuff going on my screen, if you would email my assistant Gilian, Gilian, email Gilian at ruralvacantland.com and tell her what title you would like your land in, whether it's your name or you and your family, kids, trust, company, whatever you want your land in. This is a real asset. It's got to have a title, not a doing business as or something, but it's got to have a name that hopefully you can sign off on someday to mortgage it or sell it or whatever you want to do with it. So a title that you can transfer. If that makes sense. If you're lost and don't know what I'm talking about, give me a call. I'll try to walk you through it. I'm not going to give you legal advice on a title, but I've seen lots of titles, and I'll try to tell you what other people in your scenario would most likely use from my experience. And so title, tax address, where you want the future tax bills on this property sent to, and where you want the deed from this property that I'm giving you sent to. And then once you got the property, you can do whatever you want with it. You can go build on it. You could, check the codes and stuff, but go build on it, sell it on terms, sell it for cash, give it to your kids, give it to your grandkids, whatever you want to do with the property. Maybe you'll trust me to sell it for you. I'll have you sign another little contract that says, do like an option agreement, so I can go sell the property for you at some higher price and give you cash. Just give you the cash, split the profits on the difference. So I usually do those kinds of deals. I charge 50% of the profits. I do all the marketing, talking on the phone, and payment processing, paperwork, everything. And it just makes it happen. So you get back the money however much the property costs me. Not that much. It's more paperwork for me to get these properties than cash, but I'm paying cash for them. And for above that cash amount to whatever I sell it to, half of that I would like to keep as the cost of doing business from my side to make it happen for you. Otherwise, you can go sell it on your own. Heck, put it on Zillow or Craigslist or something, start answering the phone, do your own paperwork. You can totally do that. And people do it all the time. So you don't even need me to sell it. But if you want me to sell it for you, I'd be more than happy to. So thank you, TL Frazier, for answering that one. So he put a link up to these plans. I'll switch over to the internet. This is the website that he put links up to. It's called The House Designers, and I clicked on a bunch of different ones. They seem to be pretty good prices. Lots of them are like $500 or something. I saw this one here, and this looked a lot like Pure Living for Life. It's house plan, but they're doing a timber frame house in Idaho, and it's like, I wonder if they started with a plan like this. But it just looked a lot like the one that they're building on YouTube. If you don't know what I'm talking about, they've got a nice YouTube channel. It's called Pure Living for Life, and it's Jesse and Alyssa, this husband and wife team that are building a home 99% on their own. They're trying to do it debt free, and it's just fun to watch. They screw all kinds of stuff up, but it's fun to watch the learning curve. They're not professionals or anything. They're just DIYers, and they're going for it, and they've got crazy following on the internet of people watching that channel. And So I thought that was an interesting website. Another one that came up that was recommended a couple times that I think fits what I was asking for a little bit more is SDS Plans. This website was, I think it was commented by a couple people, and some other people emailed it to me. And it's free A-frame cabin plans, blueprints, construction documents. And they've got you can download a 36-foot A-frame house plans on PDF. We'll see if that just comes in. Hopefully it doesn't screw up my video. Yeah, so you can get PDF, pretty good versions. I think you can zoom in on them. Yeah, you can zoom in to read a lot of the ideas. They're using footers and going for it. And they're telling you where to put the stove and shower and everything. I think they've got lumber side frames, and where to put all the members. And not sure it says what size lumber and everything to use. But yeah, you're using 2x6s, two 2x6s, going from top to bottom as the main beams. 2x10s is the joists. And 2x10s, yeah, 2x10s is a joist on each floor. So lots of 2x6s, lots of 2x10s, lots of roofing material, and probably lots of plywood, and you got a house. So I think that's pretty neat. That'd be fun to go get a a place up in the woods or on a mountain, or I think a second house. Go build one of those things. I think that'd be a lot of fun. So it's got all kinds of how to put it together. And then another guy, Redefine Living. Let's see if I can blow this up a little bit. Redefine Living put some comments in that I thought were very well thought out, and very smart. He said, before purchase plans regarding the price, you need to make sure the company selling them has an engineer that can make adjustments for you. Let's see, let's make this a little smaller. Cheap plans don't do you any good if you have to pay thousands of dollars to have them engineered for your area you desire to build. Example, California might have additional seismic requirements. Colorado might require deeper footing because of frost. Kansas might require tornado retrofit, etc. Honestly, the process can be discouraging. That said, usually you can draw your own plans on a CAD program like Overbuilt. So the engineer at the county, city will approve if you submit basic drawings. Typically you can draw it yourself if it's under 3 stories. The traditional stick framing is used. Be sure to check with governing agencies for all requirements, so have more than others. Some have more than others. Good luck. Thank you, Redefine Living. That's very good comments. And then he goes on to say you can ask an architect in the desired area for some old plans. They would have all been done to code for that area. I'm thinking you could get them for a great price because the previous customer would have paid for them. The architect would own the rights to the drawings, so she can sell them to you. Okay, so that might be a more logical process to go get plans to build something in California, especially where you've got all kinds of regulations. But if you're buying land off a lot of the different easy to build places that I've got on the website, it might make more sense to go buy some generic plans and run with it. Like Cochise County, Arizona, where you can do owner builder and skip a lot of the codes. So that's the idea. I think it depends on where you're looking to build your home. And for me, I'd like to build one kind of close to where I'm at. And, price makes that very hard. Price and regulations make that very hard to do. So maybe I build something further off. But I'd like to take a swing at building something close. And it's fun to learn and study. And this is part of my process of getting there. Someday, it's a someday process. Okay, so next up I wanted to talk about ruralvacantland.com. This is my website, and I want to transition over to the website. So I wanted to pull up the website, and I want to talk about what has come up for sale recently on the website. Because that's part of this is selling land. I sell land pretty much every day, and So there's always new land coming in, always land going out. People buying it on terms, people paying cash, people buying portfolios of them, people buying one at a time or 5 of them or whatever. Some people hoard them away for their kids. Some people are looking to go build on them. Lots of different reasons people buy land. But I put it up there and let you come up with a reason to buy it. I just try to find it cheap and make it easy so you can buy it. And that's the basic plan. So first thing that's up on the website right now is Cochise County, 36 acres for $7,995. That's probably the kind of land you go build, you know, A-frame off the shelf paperwork like we just showed. I'll put links into this video after I'm done with the video. Well, actually, I don't have to put links. If you just go back to that previous video, there are already links in there. I'll add the links too. I'll add the links to the description to make it easier. So Andy Barnhart's on the website. He's got this property. His phone number, his name, his email, his phone number. He's the owner of this property. It says owner up here. He's the owner. I'm not a real estate agent. I'm not representing his property. It's for sale by owner. He owns the property, and you're doing a deal with him when you buy it. So this property, he's asking $7,995, and it's 36 acres in Apache. And it looks like there's a little road on one side, maybe a little road on the other side. Red Sky Ranch, Phase 4, Lot 287. He's got GPS coordinates up the wazoo for this thing. Looks like it's about 6,000 foot elevation. Taxes are about $80 a year. You know, clear title, it's ready to go. Let's see what the next one up is. Navajo County, Arizona, 3.37 acres for $1,995. This is probably another place you could build off the shelf, build with off the shelf designs. This is Dusty Smith. Dusty Smith is newer to the website. He's very articulate. I mean, you get him on the phone, you can answer questions, talk about the deal. His missing his phone number on the website. I'm gonna make a note of that. I'll get that fixed. So he's got this property. Drop my pen. He's got this property, $1,995. It is 3.37 acres in Navajo County, Arizona. So I think I know where this one is at. I think this is at the foothills. I'm not going to pull up the maps because sometimes that screws up my live feed. But these are at these properties that he's got are at the foothills of the White Mountains. So like a 3.5 hour drive from Phoenix. It's got shallower water table and more bush and trees in the area than lots of the northern Navajo properties. There's properties in Navajo that are cheaper further north from here. He's got the easements drawn in these diagrams. But there's properties that are cheaper further north from here, but the water table is much deeper. And so when you have a deeper water table, I mean, either of these properties, the properties that he has or the deeper water table ones that are further north, you could do rainwater collection, you could do rainwater delivery. But if you want to drill it well and just have a classic water on demand kind of scenario, these properties are going to be a lot easier for that because the water table is a lot shallower. Neighbors, I believe, and I'm not exactly sure right next to this property, but around this area, I've heard of 80-foot wells and 75-foot wells and 120-foot wells and 150-foot wells and wells that are in range, economically in range to go drill into and get good enough flows, and you get good solid, good quality water coming off the back of these mountains. It's really prehistoric water, you know. Excuse me. It's water. It's there. It makes these properties a lot easier to use. So let's go back. That's Dusty Smith, and he's got this 3.37 acres in Navajo for $1,995. That's Navajo's northern Arizona. So it looks like he's got a couple of them here next to each other. You could put a couple of them together if you wanted. Here's 5 acres. I'm thinking this is Dusty Smith as well. Yeah, Dusty Smith. So he's got a series of properties that have been getting listed on the website. And I'll get his phone number added on there. But his email is ready to go. And I believe the checkout buttons aren't working yet either. I'll get that fixed as well. So when you buy from these other owners on the website, that's not me personally, the checkout buttons are linked to them. It's their checkout. They're doing the paperwork. They're getting the money. The money's going to their bank account. And you got to talk to them about the deal. It's my website, but they're posting land because I believe in these guys and they do good land at good prices, and I can't supply land to everybody, so it's great to have good dealers on there next to me selling good quality land as well. Next up's Andy Barnhart. His name and phone number's on here. He's got one for $695 in Pueblo County, Colorado. It's 0.18 acres. And I mean, $695 for a piece of land in Colorado. Come on, guys. That's pretty cheap. Colorado's market's hot. You know, price has been flying on all kinds of things. No document fees. It's got GPS coordinates of the thing. 6,000 foot elevation. Taxes are just under $40 a year. I think Andy's probably got a couple of these to choose from. Yeah, I think there's a couple of them here to choose from. $695 for 0.2 acres. $500 for 0.17 acres. And they're on little roads too. Like, you can drive right up to these things. I don't know what the regulations are about RV living and putting a mobile home or building or what. We have to talk to Andy about the regulations. There's little roads. I mean, you can drive right up to them and start using the land. I bet you there's good mountain views. Tax $3 a year taxes. That sounds like a fun piece of land. $495 for this thing. Pueblo County, Colorado. If you guys are interested in Colorado, check out those cheap ones. So that's just the first page. We got 44 pages of properties up for sale right now. These kinds of prices, these kinds of deals scattered across the country. So go take a look at ruralvacantland.com. Look at the areas you're interested in. There's a map search. If you pull that up, you can see properties all over the board. It'll be a map of the United States, you know, from Hawaii to, not sure what the furthest north stuff we still have for sale. I think all the New York and Northeast stuff sold out right now, but maybe Minnesota might be the furthest northeast we're at right now that's still up for sale. There's stuff down in the south and back all the way west. So north, south, east, west. Northeast is pretty vacant for the most part. But the rest of it, we've got properties scattered across the area. So please go check out my website, ruralvacantland.com. Next thing I want to talk about is new deals. So the reason I started making these live videos was I thought I would be trying to raise money to help me buy land and sell land. And I thought it would be great to have an audience. If I build a name and a brand and an audience, it'd make it easier to ask for money. And that's why I'm in a lot of different, and my name is all over the place, because I always think I'm going to run out of money and then want to be able to call on friends for help. And so that people call and they ask me to put their money to work all the time. And I get a lot of people that say, use my money, use my money, use my money. But the point of this, making these live videos, was that I would offer some of these deals to the public. And they're not regulated in that fashion. Like in the business that I used to be in, the stock business, it was highly regulated about who you could offer deals to because it was securitizing stuff. And so I've been doing these deals so I don't securitize them and I stay out of the regulations. So when you buy some of these deals, I just get your name on the deed. You know, it's yours. It's not a security, it's yours. It's your asset. It's a real asset. It's not a whole bunch of paperwork stuff flying around and piles of trusts involved. And I think that's really cool. So as I'm saying this, I'm reading one guy that's going by Hulu Khan saying, Luke, do you ever JV funds for deals? And yeah, so I've done a bunch of different style deals, and I'm not going to talk about all the different styles because of the regulations. but I'm going to talk about the kinds that your name is on there, and your name, you know, you own the thing. And then if you want me to go sell it for you, great. We'll put a option contract together. So I have a part ownership in the property, and I have a vested interest in the property, so I can go sell it as owner, for sale by owner. And I sign the paperwork, get all the paperwork ready to go, so you don't disappear on me, and I can 100% know that I can deliver to whoever I sell this property to. And so those kinds of deals, I'd like to offer more of those deals. After I went on vacation for a bit and I came back, and there's well over 130 deals, you know, properties to buy that I got to research and figure out and fund and make happen. And I don't have enough time to keep up with them all. Like, people keep calling and emailing and mailing and buy my land, buy my land, buy my land, and they're good prices and I want to do the deals. I have a hard time keeping up with them. So I'd like to just dive into researching some deals. I think I'm going to be a little selective on what I show on the screen, and see if I can figure out how to do this. I'm sure I'll bat my head against the wall and somebody will call me a jerk or something because I shared some information. I don't know, but let's just give it a try. So I'm going to try to leave names out of this. So this guy called, I think this was yesterday. Not yesterday, Friday. Today's Monday, so I think it was Friday. This guy called. He's got 3 lots in Cochise County, Arizona. And I'm just going to start with this one because it's on the top of my pile, not because it's the best or the worst or anything. And so I'm going to pull up some stuff on the screen that you can't see, and then I'm going to kind of show it to you as I get it ready here. So he's got, the basic story is he's got 3 lots in Arizona. He wants to sell all 3 of them. He wants $8 grand for them. I got his phone number, email. He sent back some paperwork, he says, by email. I haven't checked it yet, but so I got all his information, and I believe I copied these numbers down right. And I'm going to pull up Arizona, Cochise County. I'm going to start putting numbers in, and we'll see if these properties are like just not worth anything or worth spending more time on or what. So before I go look at deeds and everything else, I'm just going to try to find these properties, see if I can even find them. Sure. And of course I can't. Maybe I didn't copy the numbers down right. I think Cochise is 323, like 3 digits, 2 digits, 3 digits. If I remember, no, what the heck. Hopefully this isn't a video about just trying to find land, but that oftentimes that's what land dealing is about. It's trying to find land. People are always saying, you own land, you don't know where it is. It's not that easy to find land, guys. It's an art of its own. So I'm gonna try a couple different ways. One of my favorite ways is referring to my website. I got a lot of data, a lot of information on my website, right? So I'm just going to pull up Cochise County, make sure I know what I'm talking about with the format of APNs, because this format, he gave me too many numbers. I think the numbers he's giving me is the APN number plus the bill number. Like when you owe taxes, there's a bill. So the APN 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 would be like the last little number on the end. That's not really the assessor's parcel number. That's like the bill number, because he's like taking it off of the tax bill. And a lot of counties do that. But yeah, 3 digits, 2 digits, 3 digits. So let me try that again. I thought I had it that way. The way he told me was 333. 3, 2, 3. Maybe I got to take the 0 off the end. So that makes more sense. So I think the bill number is a 01 or a 0806. So I'm going to do So people give me these numbers, and you got to get the format right to search the databases. Okay, I figured it out. Yep, 3 digits, 2 digits, 3 digits, and I wrote it down as 3 digits, 3 digits, 3 digits, and then 1 on the end for the bill number, but I got to move my dashes over one spot because the way it's formatted. So I'm going to put the number, I'm going to take the APN off the screen, I think. Okay, I'm going to turn the screen over to so you guys can see it. So, well, I didn't actually get it off the screen. If you guys really want to steal this deal, you could steal this deal. I'm just going to trust that you're not going to. And I got so many deals, I'm not going to even be that mad if you do. So, Cochise County, Arizona. This is the lot. To me, this looks like Sun Sites or something. This is a small lot. Sun Sites, yeah. So this is Sun Sites. So Cochise County, Arizona. I love the lots that are 4 acres and up. 4 acres and up, you can do owner builder. You can build earth bag homes. You can build container ship homes. You can build A-frames. You can build log cabins. You can build out of lumber that you cut yourself. You know, you might own some land in Washington, for example, and you buy one of those sawmills, like the pull behind your truck style sawmill, band mill. You know, one of your own do-it-yourself sawmills, and you go cut down some trees, cut a timber frame home up, and haul the cants down to Arizona and build your house. You could do that in Cochise County, Arizona. You can't do that in a lot of places. A lot of places want you to have graded lumber. Even places in like Washington, they want you, lumberland. They still want you to have graded lumber because they want to know the structural integrity of the wood. They don't want you to use popple or something when you should be using oak. I'm using extreme examples, but you probably understand what I mean. Someone got hurt back in the day because some board broke or something, and so they came up with a rule: you got to have graded lumber. So if you go to the construction aisle at Home Depot and you look at the construction lumber, it's got stamps on it. If you go to the furniture lumber aisle, it's a colorful artsy stuff, it doesn't have stamps on it. That's not structural. You can't use that stuff for structural lumber. So when you build a house, in most places you got to have the structural lumber that's got the stamps on it, so the inspector can say, okay, it meets the whatever regulations and codes, and there you go. So if you buy these small properties in Cochise County, or if I bought these small properties in Cochise County and I go try to sell them, people want to go build their own place, they got to follow the local regulations. They got to pass inspection to build on these size lots. You can get them for cheap, next to nothing kinds of prices, but then you got that different kinds of sales pitch. It's different. It's not that they don't sell, it's just different sales pitch. Cochise is really easy regulations. I'm not saying it's hard regulations. It's just the way it is. So this is a lot. Let's see. So I don't really care about these properties. I'm just gonna put the APNs on the screen. He's got 3 of them. He wants $8,000. I already know that's way too much money. How do I know that? Because I've bought these lots before, and they don't sell that well. And they don't sell that well because they're small and there's a sea of them, and the taxes are a lot compared to the size. Let's see if I got that right. So the guy wants $8,000 for 3 of them, which is, yeah, I'd probably be more like $100 or $200 a piece. So I think we're way out of line. I mean, they're probably in a row. No, he's got 2 of them next to each other. Okay, so I'm just gonna skip on. Well, let's just look up the last one. 115, 79, 80. Oh, I didn't do that right. 07098. Lots of these APNs just moving zeros around. Yeah, so it's just another, I don't know, he's got 2 and then skips 1, then he's got 1. I have no interest in these properties. I'm sure somebody out there is like, great, let's go for them. But $8,000 for 3 of them. I mean, go look at ruralvacantland.com. Let's pull up ruralvacantland.com. Let's pull up Cochise County. I'm not even sure what size those are. Those are probably, I don't know. Doesn't even matter. Cochise County, $800, $500, $600, $600, $600, $600, $600. There's a whole bunch of lots in Cochise County up for sale on ruralvacantland.com that are a fraction of what this guy's asking for. So either he's not looking at who he's trying to sell this land to, or he's just blanking the offers to everybody. And either way, it's not the deal. And then down at the bottom, we've got these $2,000 5-acre ones, 4 acres, 4 acres for $17.99. Like these 4-acre ones, you can go build whatever you want on. $100 a month for 36 months, 4 acres. Build whatever you want. $1,799, 4 acres. Build whatever you want. These like $100 a month ones. I mean, people buy those off me all the time because it's $100. You can go start building on the land with $100. You know, $100 in a credit card, debit card. Go work on it. I'm not gonna pay $8,000 for this. So let's speed this up a little bit. See what the next one is. So the next one I'm gonna change the screen, and I'm gonna pull up. So talking about partnering and venturing and stuff. A lot of it is just weeding through a lot of deals that don't make any sense. And I've done so many of these vacant land deals, rural vacant land deals, that I can weed through them a little bit faster than a lot of people usually when I'm not talking to you guys. So this next one is in Humboldt. And you're looking at my face because I'm going to try to hide some info. I think this person called back from a mailer I did in the past. Okay. Let's see if I can. Wonder if I could. I think it's kind of cut off. I think it'll be fine. Yeah, it's kind of cut off. Kind of works for my benefit. Okay, so I pulled this one up. Humboldt County, California. Humboldt County. This is in, just by looking at the map, I already know Toth Road. That's Shelter Cove. That is close to the beach in Shelter County, which is awesome. That's cool. I love the land close down here. It's great. So a lot of the problems of this neighborhood come in when it comes to topography, and this looks like a cavern in here. I don't know, it's probably pretty thick topography going off the hill there. And I'm just gonna, it's too hard to hide everything from you guys. I'm just gonna keep swinging here and see what happens. So I'm gonna pull this up in another software. I'm gonna pull it up in Title Pro. Title Pro is done by the Land Academy guys. At the beginning of this call, we're talking about the Land Academy guys and the conference we're going to go speak at. And this is where I learned a lot of the information. This is some of the stuff that they'll sell you, try to get you to sign up on. And if you go to those, if you subscribe to their stuff, and it's good. I use it all the time. It's makes it really easy to look up land. Humboldt County, California. So one of the hardest parts about dealing land is finding it, right? So you put the county and the state in there and the APN. If you know the format of the APN, this one you gotta add some zeros to get the format right. So you learn the formatting of these different areas by just learning them area by area. I go search Smith, or Jones or something. Smith or Jones owns land in that area, right? And see what the format of their APN is, and then copy that format and run with that and see what happens. Looks like they come out with even a different format. So they're showing this property in Shelter Cove and Toth Road, and it's right off the side of the road here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on, I'm going to get a GPS coordinates of the street, and we're going to see if we can get some street view without my video going nuts. We still got green. I think the internet's still holding up, so we'll see if this crashes the internet. And I'm going to try to get a street view and see if we can see what kind of topography is there in this neighborhood. So I've sold properties in this neighborhood up the hill. Like, this is not in the sewer system part of the neighborhood. Part of this neighborhood has a sewer system, and part of it doesn't. The part that has a sewer system, I think, is worth a lot more money. The part that doesn't, I mean, you should discount it a good 10, 15, 20 grand, maybe even 30 grand if it's on steep hill. Because steep hill stuff, like, good luck getting the poop to stay in the hill. It just pisses out the side, for lack of better terms, right? So it makes it really hard to develop the land, and when it's hard to develop, it's hard to sell, so you don't want to buy it in the first place. So let's zoom into this stuff. Let's see how steep it is. Already looking at crazy hill on the other side of the street. Now, one side of the street's crazy hill, the other side of the street probably is too. Yeah, get the ocean view, but crazy hill. So I think it's better to just pass on this one. No matter the price, I don't want to get stuck selling crazy hill land. And let's move on to the next property. Let's make sure we get some answers covered. Someone's saying cluck, cluck, cluck. Yeah, chickens are going crazy out there. I think they're fighting over the egg box. They're trying to lay eggs. A2 was saying, I was just looking at that property on your site, Luke. Yeah, peddling profits. Frank, yeah, agreed. Take your RV to go places. Yeah, for sure. RV makes it really easy. But if you ever want to stop driving, it's nice to own some land, or maybe even a couple, 3, 4, 5 properties in different elevations, different climate zones for different times of the year. You can just go back and forth. Take advantage of one county says RV's okay for 2 months out of the year. Just stay there a couple months and then go to the next one. I mean, that works pretty well too. And you don't have neighbors coming in the middle of the night and RV park playing music or drunk craziness or whatever. Or maybe you like that, I don't know. Yeah, it's real land. They ain't making it anymore. It's very true. The other side of that, they aren't making land anymore, is, I don't know, I make land. I mean, I buy a big piece of property, split it into smaller pieces of property, sell the smaller pieces off. I mean, that's making land, right? It goes from 1 user to 5 users, or 1 user to 2 users, or 1 user to 50 users. That's one way of making land. It's not making more land, but it's making it more available to people. What size are all the 3 lots? Someone's asking about the size of those ones and sun sites. I think they might be 1 acre, 1/4 acre. I don't remember. I used to deal a whole bunch of them, but I forget the sizes of them. It's way overpriced. It doesn't matter. They're way overpriced. They could be 5 acres. They'd still be overpriced. Do you try on the tax rolls with the owner's name in case the APN is wrong? Yeah. So I look at the tax rolls. Like, I didn't get that far in the deal because I don't like the deal. I'm not going to spend the time looking up the tax and stuff. So one of the weird things about Cochise is it's really hard to figure out the taxes. Like, the taxes in Cochise, I've been burned numerous times on the taxes in Cochise. I call them, I get a tax quote. I email them, I get a tax quote. I get a tax quote out of them, I get a tax quote out of them. Yeah, it's all paid off. It's paid off. It's paid off. I buy the land, and 5 years ago it wasn't paid off. I'm like, what? Somebody paid the previous 4 years, but not 5 years ago. Like, how does that happen? You know, you scratch your head, how does it happen? And then I start doing it, because Cochise County, if you have something that's a little bit old, they won't take a check. They want a cashier's check. And I send them regular checks, and then they send them back. They say, okay, we took the funds for, this year, but not last year, because last year you need to pay a cashier's check. And then I go get a cashier's check, and then I send them that. And then they say, oh, well, now there's another late fee, and there's some more interest, and there's some more, they won't even take what I send. You got to pay the whole thing, and you got to do paperwork with it, and you got to get it notarized that you're the owner and that you represent, or, it's yours, and you're the rightful person to pay the taxes and everything. The Cochise makes it really hard to pay the taxes. So if you're dealing land in Cochise, be really, really careful about the taxes in there. I had one property I bought, And there's actually 3 properties from the same guy, and it's 3 different. See if I remember this right. It's 20 acres, 3 different 20-acre properties, and I split each one of them 5 ways. They were all different areas, and I split them up 5 ways. State law lets you split them 5 ways. I split them 5 ways each, and I started selling off the pieces. And one of the guys, who's probably listening to this video, noticed that the taxes weren't paid off from like multi-years ago. I'm like, what? You know, I checked it. I got it in emails. I got it, you know, my notes from calling them. I called them. I emailed, like in writing from the county, the taxes are paid off. It was like, I think 17 grand in taxes between the 3 properties. And I'm going, oh man. I mean, I sold most all the properties, and I for a little bit more than that, but not that much more. And like, I had to pay it. I pay the bill, you know, pay the bill to make it right. Like, can't go back on those people. I'd pay the bill. If I would have known that tax bill were out there, I wouldn't have bought those properties because the economics didn't make sense. So Cochise County, be very careful about taxes. And there's other counties like that too. So wherever you're buying land, you just really got to be careful about taxes. Someone else talking about a sawmill. Yeah, the chickens go, Lost Coast. Sounds like Cochise is a scam. Every county has at least one. Yeah, exactly. The taxes seem like a scam, but the owner-builder side of it is really cool. And it's a really cheap county. And there's a bunch of land. It's split up a bunch of ways. It's really easy to deal land there. You just got to be really, really careful about the taxes. And so if you're on top of the taxes and you ask the right people in the tax office and you know how to do it right, you can, you know, it works. It works great. So let's move on to the next property. I said no to this one in Humboldt. The next one I want to pull up is it's in the mail. Like these people, where is it? Faxed and mailed it in. Okay. And he called to make sure I got it all and everything. So let's pull this one up, and I'm gonna try to pull it up on the screen before you can see it. Just see if I can even spell the county right. Tuolumne County, California. See if it comes up. I sent some mailers out to Tuolumne County, California. Offered for this property, offered $10,127.37, and signed it, sent it back, but they said that someone's deceased. So the question on this would be if the person who's dead is the who I need to get to sign, and then it's hard to get a dead person to sign off, and it becomes a whole process to transfer the thing. See if I can pull it up a different way. One program's going slow. I'll try another one. There's a process in California to process the dead people land. If it's a really good deal, it makes sense. You can take it to the county or probate court referee, and they'll go out to the property. You got to pay them, go out to the property, take pictures, measure it, map it. I don't know if they measure it. They take pictures at least. They do some kind of valuation, what they think it's worth, and make sure it's worth something less, and everything else that goes to the dead person's estate is less than whatever the minimum is. I think the minimum's something high, like $250,000 or $200,000 or something. So if it's this vacant land in the middle of nowhere stuff, generally it works pretty well. You can do that. You're going to end up paying, depends on the county, $500, $1,500 or something to process the paperwork through there. And it takes months, and then you get some paperwork from the court, probate court, that says, you know, so and so is dead, and it passes on to this person, and then that person can sign off the sale and goes on to the next person. I could sell it to my company, and I could sell it to somebody clean with a clean title if they're on their dead, and depends on what the name of the dead person is and how it's titled, if I can transfer it or not. So I got it pulled up here. This is Tuolumne County, California. Hopefully, I think I'm blocking out the APNs there. This is you could probably still find it if you're really you're dead set on it, but whatever. The I don't really know where this is. It's right at the corner of the county here. Big national forest up here. It's by a lake. It's I see it's in the trust name, so it's in the trust. So the dead guy, I would just need a death certificate with a affidavit that says affidavit of death, and then the other trustee was his wife, I believe. By looking at the names, could still sign off on it and transfer the land. So I think the title is okay without doing probate stuff. So this one I'd be more interested in the price in the market. So let's go look at some market stuff. See if it makes sense to buy this one or not. Let's just see what the cheapest stuff in the county is going for. So this is 1.1 acres. Look at that, $2,000 for a third of an acre. Let's change our settings to lots and land only. Let's make sure it says for sale. For sale, let's get rid of these potential listings. They're just annoying. Let's see what recently sold. Let's put that in there too. People call and yell, no one's ever bought land that cheap in the area. I'm like, what? Here's $2,000 land that just traded half an acre, $2,000 for half an acre. Where are these things at? So my land's going to be down in here. $8,000. Someone bought one for $8,000. That's less than what I've offered. I think the prices might kill this deal. Unless there's something weird about this one. Two large lakes in the high Sierras, power and paved road to the property. It's on a slight hill. They listed it for sale at $12,900 in December of 16, and then January it sold. So it took 45 days from listing to sale at $12,900. That's a year ago, a little over a year ago. $12,900, $16,500, $20,000 sold, 3.1 acres. October 2017. $22,000. It's the cheapest one up for sale in the area. The awful picture. 2.3 acres of privacy. They listed it for $35,000 in October of 16. September of 17, like a year later, just a month before they probably lost the listing, they knocked it down to $25,000. No one took it. A couple months later, they dropped it to $22,000. Still no one's taking it. Think anyone looks at this stuff? 136 views in the last 30 days. So this is the cheapest thing out there. Second cheapest one's 1.3 acre lot with a view. This one's got a water view, so I'm not competing with that at 30 grand. And this one's for 10 grand. I'm kind of thinking this is overpriced. There's not enough room in there to make it out. The cheapest is 22 grand. Yeah, I could buy it for 10. I could put up for sale for like 19 or something. But what scares me about this 22 cheapest one is the competition. 164 views. I mean, there's 11 shoppers that saved it, and then it's been on the market since 2016. That's kind of weird. Maybe the picture is awful. I mean, it'd be easy to compete with it. It looks like it's some hills and trees and stuff. Let's take a look at the one that I got here. I'm just spinning wheels. Let's reload this website, see if I can start it over. It's a cul-de-sac. Let's see if there's some, let's see if I can do a street view on this thing. Liberty Murph saying, and all they needed was a living trust, no probate. Yeah, so I think it is in a trust. The more I look at it, I'm pretty sure it's in a trust. But for sure, if you guys have property and you're owning it in your husband and wife name, it can be a real mess after you die for whoever you want to leave that land to for them to actually do something with it. So watch the comments there. They're saying put it in a trust. Exactly. Use a trust. There's an old video way back in my video history about setting up a trust, and it's using US legal forms. And it's like 30 bucks. And you just click through, fill out some blanks, and you got a trust. I'm sure there's free ones online, but the US legal forms ones are easy to understand legal documents and paperwork that I've used lots of their stuff. It's easy to read, it's easy to comprehend. Okay, now I'm scratching my head. This looks different. 75 028. This is different property than what Agent Pro is coming up with. .1 acres. So the same people. This is a different map. So Agent Pro has them over here. At the end of this street. Parcel Fact has them over here. So let's look at this. So I think it's got them over here somewhere. This might not be an actual Parcel Fact might not have this software doesn't have the location. They're just sticking a generic one in for the neighborhood. They don't have the information on these properties. Look at that. Yeah. So they're just putting a pin in for a whole bunch of different properties in the area where they don't have an address. So talk about misleading. It's a good way to go sell somebody the wrong property. Okay, so let's look at over here. It's this property. So there's a difference between Agent Pro data, Black Knight data. Agent Pro 24/7 or Title Pro 24/7 is by Black Knight, and they're missing the data for this particular property. And I pull it up on Parcel Fact's got it right. They've got the actual lines and, you know, the location of the property and everything. So I would be reviewing the wrong property if I were just going off Agent Pro data, or I'd be lost and I wouldn't be able to find the property if I clicked in enough to figure that out. So if I was just beginning dealing land and I was using Agent Pro, I probably would have bought the wrong friggin' property, sold the wrong property. People would get pissed at me. So it's really imperative to have good quality data when you're doing this. This one is done by CoreLogic and Title Pro, you know, it's a different company. It's like the same people in the background that did Experian. I'm not sure they're all owned by the same company anymore, but it's the same kind of database company out of Irvine, California. Really horrible looking office. Looks so depressing just to drive by there, a sea of cubicles, a cement box. So let's click here. Let's take a look at this property. Let's go look at, let's pull it up on Google Maps, see if we can figure out where this thing's at. There's power lines. It's a hill, some trees, paved road, neighboring houses. These aren't very fancy houses. Not well taken care of yards. Looks like a little bit lower income area. I think I'm overpriced. Too much hill. I don't think you get excited to go move in across the street from this. Not 20 grand excited or more that I'd like to sell it for. I can buy it for 10. So I'm gonna probably pass on this one. Let's look at the next one. Shasta County, California. Let's pull this sucker up. Well, we're in California. Let's go Shasta. I got a letter back, signed, ready to go. Same price, $10,127.37. See if I get this APN style right. Let's get it into this software too. See if that loads while this one comes up. So looks like there might be a street there. Northwood Drive, Pineview Road. Looks like a bunch of trees. Looks like there's houses in these trees. Here's Lawson Volcanic National Parks. You might be looking up at the big volcano there. Singletown over here. Okay, so I'm all sold out of land in this area, I believe. So it'd be nice to buy some more. See if this one's coming up. Yeah, see if we can do street view on this thing. I think the question on this one, I mean, so far I'd like to buy this, but I'd like to understand the title. I'd like to understand the market. I don't know the market well enough. I mean, I know there's nothing cheaper than this for this size in the county. I'm gonna look and check, but I'm dead sure there isn't. Let's see if there's street view in this neighborhood. That make it a lot easier to see what's going on, make it easier to sell the property, easier to make a decision on buying it. Looks like they're doing some gardening. Looks like they might have had a yard there at one time. So this is not paved. They're not paving their driveways. I don't see any swimming pools. Kind of smaller houses, which is totally fine. I'm happy with that. But they're close, right? You got neighbors that are close. I'm usually trying to get rural cabin looking feel already. Look at this. Look at these trees. It's beautiful. Yeah, so I don't know which way I'm looking here. So we want north. Let me get out of here and figure out the directions. We want south. Okay, so we're over here. We're looking at that one. We want south over there. Let's see if we can zoom in. Gated driveway, privacy. Oh, neighbors for sale. And then, at least in 2007, this is just nice thick wood. So they're putting like cabins in the woods is the feel. I don't think the car went up this way because it looks like a small driveway. Maybe they turned around here. So we can see some of the neighbors, people putting cabins in the woods. It's like a quiet place to put cabins in the woods. Looks like a nice place to go build my A-frame. You know, when I believe in the land, it makes it a lot easier for me to sell it. And you know, I like this kind of driveway. This to me, this is inviting to own something like this. A little hidden gem back in the woods somewhere. So let's look at the market. Let's look at Shasta County. Because I want to be able to buy it and sell it as the cheapest cheap anything around. I don't want to be like sticking out. Whoa, look at that. There's $4,000. Fall River Mills, California. For 1 acre. This thing's 0.76 acres. Some cheaper stuff coming into Shasta recently. Oh, this is way up here. Okay, yeah, that area of Shasta's usually got some cheaper ones. It's getting way out there, like for supplies and stuff. So we're down here. This one we're talking about is down here more. It's south of Round Mountain. Okay, here's Lawson. It's over here. Here's Shingletown. It's in this area. Here's the neighborhood. It's 0.76 acres. There's 0.78 acres sold for $10,000. This looks like the same neighborhood. This is the same neighborhood. Somebody sold one for 10 grand in March of 2017. Doesn't have the history how long it was up for sale. $10,000, about the same size. So the lot we got's over here. This one's over here, so it's pretty close. About the same size. This one's a hair bigger. 10 grand and May of 18. So May, just a couple months ago, sold for 10 grand on Zillow. I'm thinking we're overpriced. If I could buy this for 10, other people are paying 10. 10 February 2018. $15,000. Here's a cheap one, half acre. This is way over somewhere else. It's a good looking wooded lot. Generally 20 degrees cooler than Redding, yet only 40 miles away. So I wonder if that's the main sales pitch in the area, is like a second home from outside of Redding. Oh, look at that history. Jeez. Listed in 2015. 2015, they just kept playing around with the price, going back and forth until they got somebody. No, it's still up for sale. Man, they changed the price a lot. 16.5. Something's wrong with that one. .485 acres. I think I should just give up. I'm overpriced. All these 10s have been going through. There's a 24 for sale in that neighborhood. Seller may carry first with 25% down, good credit. So some of the cheapest stuff in the neighborhood's already up for owner financing. 56 views in the last 30 days. Not enough people, not enough margin. I think I'm gonna skip that one for now. It's not a screaming hot deal. Next one, Shasta County. Let's do another Shasta. Or should I change it up? Let's change it up. Let's do a different county. I guess I'm gonna be doing this for like a month with all the stuff I got to go through. So this next one, signed letter thing. They wrote a note on the top saying, we're now in a position to sell 3 parcels of vacant land in Hawaii County. If you have an interest in acquiring these parcels, please contact me at my address, blah, 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 phone number, blah, blah. All real property taxes and road maintenance assessments are current. Okay. Name and numbers and stuff. So I had offered $4,000 for one of the 3 properties that he has in the past. And since then, you might have heard there was a volcano on the Big Island of Hawaii. And land sales there have stopped. I don't get any phone calls, any interest, nothing. So nothing. So, not surprised people want to sell land there. Let's take a look, see what's going on. Let's pull up. So my face is on the screen. I'm going to pull up some numbers over here. See if I can kind of hide some numbers. Show you some generic stuff. I mean, he sent me a signed contract too. Hawaii County. Let's see if I can pull up Hawaii County. I'll try to pull it up on a couple different feeds. Hawaii's got a nice long APN number. They call it tax map key. TMK. It's nice and logical. I mean, the first number stands for the island. The next one stands for what district in that island, and then it's piece of that district, and so it goes doo, 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 doo. It's a good logical layout of I keep calling it APN numbers, but yeah. So I think these are all next to each other. Yeah, I'm gonna say they're next to each other because their APN numbers are chronological. So let me throw this on the screen and see if I can share it with you guys. So we're in Hawaii County, Hawaii. I offered $4,000 a piece for these lots. This is looking like, these are 1 acre lots, so I'm guessing they're Hawaiian Ocean View estates down in the south end of the island. And it's about what part of the Hawaiian Ocean View estates. Okay, so this is closer. This is closer down to the ring road. It's not way up the hill. So this might be good. Because as you get up the hill here, it gets up to like 5 or almost 6,000 foot elevation. When if you're moving to Hawaii, 6,000 foot elevation is not usually so desirable. If you're moving to Arizona, where it's hot and dry, 6,000 foot elevation is much more desirable because it's mild summer and a little bit cooler summer, or mild. It's already got a mild winter because of the location, but a mild summer is a good thing to look for in Arizona or New Mexico. But in Hawaii, where it's the same constant temperature coming off the ocean all the time, going up 6,000 foot elevation, you start needing a heater, and you get this cloud layer that comes through, so it gets a little bit colder as that cold wet clouds blow through, and it just takes a different person. If you don't want the hotness of Hawaii all the time, some people love this, and if you zoom into the higher elevations, I've sold numerous lots up there. People just absolutely loved it. There's a bunch of houses that are built up here, and there's parts of the island like Volcano. There's a town up here that just looks beautiful. I mean, flowers all over the place, massive amounts of rain, and higher elevation. It's colder climate, and people love it. There's a bunch of people living there that love it. So the volcano that's coming out now is Gilian Estates. And so Gilian Estates is over here. This is the name of the neighborhood is Gilian Estates, the part of the island that's been spewing. And it came out like right in the middle of this neighborhood somewhere. And it's like flowing up this way. It's flowing this way towards the beach. Some flows down here, some flows up here. And so if we zoom out, one of the main airports is Hilo. So if you're flying in, you're coming into Hilo or Kona. So one side or the other. And either side, if you fly into the Hilo side, I mean, you could shoot across, but you could take the main highway down here and not be messing with the volcano that's going over here and spilling into the ocean. You can drive by it. I'm not going to say you wouldn't notice, but you could drive by it and go up over this mountain. It's 4,000 foot elevation there, and then come down through this way over to Hawaiian Ocean View. Or if you're coming from Kona, you could come down this way and get to Hawaiian Ocean View. And so the way the winds go, I mean, the winds are coming in here somewhere, right? And it's going here, and this stuff's getting blown out over the ocean. It's not getting blown over you, and it's a constant wind, like pretty much all the time. It's not like it changes. So the volcano stuff that's happening here goes away from the island. But people still aren't going to the big island and buying land. They're not looking at it that close and looking at the logic of where the flows and the smoke and everything, gases are going. They're thinking it's a big island, I'm going to get fried. So down here, we got Hawaiian Ocean View Estates, and this goes from the 5,000 whatever elevation down to like 2,000 foot elevation right along the main highway. And then it goes down to the ocean. There's houses down to like 500-600 foot elevation down here. So I've got one for sale that's like front row down here somewhere, like maybe one street off Milihuni Drive. And I would love to go build on this property. I think I'm asking $20,000 or so. It's 3 acres, and there's little trails like that go straight down to the private beach down here, Bohui Bay. And you've got, I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, but I heard there's hot springs down here that you can bathe in. There's palm trees and lined sandy beach, and then you can swim out, and there's spear fishing and, you know, lobster diving and stuff, and all these rocks I heard is just awesome. Amount of sea life down here with turtles as well. So that looks like a fun place to visit, whether you're buying land or not. But if you're buying land, you know, you could get the one right up here. You could drive your golf cart down there to the beach, or 4-wheeler or something through this through the trails down to the beach. If you're buying land on this side, it's a little bit further. You might want to take your car down there and go for it, but this isn't that far up. So the people that I've talked to about land down here, some of the locals that buy land from me, they're looking to be close to this belt road. The tourists don't mind, or the new people don't mind way up the hill, but the locals, they want to be close. They don't want to be way down there because they say it's too hot. They're saying this is too hot. It's too low elevation. They're saying this is nice because it's just a temperate climate. You don't need heat. You don't need air conditioning. They say down here you almost need air conditioning. But up here it's good climate. And so that's what I've heard from dealing land. I mean, you might know better than me. Go there, check it out and everything. So this stuff, $4,000 a pop. I might be interested in buying some more of these at $4,000 a pop. If they're all right here next to each other, put them together, run with it. That could be a good deal. I've sold a bunch of them in the past, but ever since that volcano went through, I haven't sold a thing. So there's a little bit of you know, big picture stuff on Hawaiian land. I don't know what will happen with a volcano and people buying land again. I'm sure people will buy land again in Hawaii, but do they buy it like tomorrow? I don't know. Maybe some of the other projects could buy today, sell tomorrow, faster than buying Hawaii and selling next month or 2 months or whenever. I think I've got some other ones in inventory too that are right around here, like over here maybe, a couple lots. I mean, if you had an electric bike, you could probably just ride it over to the store over here and then, you know, turn the electric back on to get back up this hill a little bit to get back home. I mean, you could bike it to the hardware store and back and things. So that would be fun. It would be a lot of fun. I don't know if I could talk my wife into it because it's not horse friendly, but other than that part, I think it'd be really fun to go build a place there, build a second home. There's another Shasta. Here's a Mariposa County. Tuolumne. Another Shasta. Let's look at this Shasta. It's a little bit bigger. It's probably not the same. I'm gonna put my face. Yeah, my face is on the screen. Okay. Let's go California, Shasta. I'm gonna pull it up in 2 different sets of software. Okay, so we get that kind of weirdness in the data where one knows where it is and one doesn't. So this one is in a family trust. The lady signed it. I think this is one of the trustees. Someone's dead. Somebody died. Said it sounds like the husband died. So if it's in a trust, we probably have to collect the death certificate and affidavit of death from the deceased trustee. So I'm gonna switch over. I think I've got numbers buried. Let's switch over. Okay, so O'Brien Inlet Road. Huh. That looks like a hill, doesn't it? To me, this looks like a hill. Is that a railroad track? I don't know this part. Boy, there's a lot of water there. I like that. What's all this water? Shasta Lake. That's the 5. Okay, so Interstate 5 goes over here. 695 goes through there. Railroad track and this property. So I used to buy properties on the railroad track in the middle of nowhere desert land. And, 40 acres, 80 acres, 20 acres, 5 acres, whatever. And they would be the last ones left on the website. Didn't matter what I did with the price. I'd drop the price, drop the price, drop the price, offer owner financing, make it really, really, really easy. And like I live next to a railroad track, but I got the ocean right on the other side, right? I'm looking at the ocean, and the railroad track's kind of buried because it's not underground, but it's kind of in a ditch. So if you watch enough of my videos, you probably hear the train going by. But at the same time, you watch enough of my videos, you probably hear the waves crashing into the hill that's on the other side of the railroad track. You know, when the big surf comes in, my office shakes. Like, I don't make videos because the walls are shaking. It's better to go watch the surfers go ride the waves. So there's differences. Railroad track, pros, cons. You got to have something to offset the railroad track, is what I'm saying. So let's pull this up and let's see if we can do some street view. Let's zoom in here first. Let me pull up a different screenshot. So this is pulled up on Title Pro. This is Land Academy software. And we'll zoom in, zoom out. This is Shasta Lake. Boy, this lake looks like a lot of fun to go drive a boat around in, because there's like all kinds of little nooks and crannies you could get away. Even if there's a whole lot of boats on here, you could have a bay to yourself. It'd be fun to go throw lures in all these little bays, see what kind of fish come out of them. I don't know if it's trout or bass or catfish or what is in that lake. I've never studied the fishing. It looks like there's a nice marina down here. Pitt River, Sacramento. There's like multiple rivers coming in. Then the Shasta Dam. If there's a picture. I've never been to Shasta Lake. I've heard of it, but I've never been there. Looks like a serious dam. Looks like the kind of dam that was built in the Depression days. Big, massive, job-creating dam. It's probably awful for the salmon. But, okay. So, let's zoom in here. Get some GPS coordinates of this thing so we can look it up. It's going slow. I wonder what that is. It's a weird looking building. It's like long skinny things. Okay, so let's pull this up over here. So I spend a lot of time looking at land to buy, but the way that I do it is backwards for most people. I think most people look at land that's for sale that they want to buy, and then they work on everything else. I mail out offers and see who wants to sell. You know, like these kinds of, you know, offer like this. It says, hey, sign here if you want to sell for the price that I'm offering. I do some statistics. You've seen my other videos about doing statistics and stuff, and seeing if we can get somebody to buy it, or see if we can get somebody to sell. I send out thousands of these things. This is total hill land. This is crazy hill. There's no access. I mean, there's a road there, but I mean, it doesn't even look like you could park on the side of the road. Maybe in the one little crook of it there. That just looks like crazy hill. And by the railroad track. No street view. There's a power line. They only want 10 grand for it, but it looks useless. I'm just writing crazy hill on it, putting it in my stack of skip. Let's move on to the next one. It's been an hour and a half we've been doing this. I don't think I should keep going on to the next one, But I'll run through some chat, see if I can answer some questions, and then ask a question from earlier on for people that have been sticking around and listen to this super long video, and give some more land away. And because I believe in giving land away, I think it gets people started into their first property. It gets people juiced and amped and excited about dealing land, buying land, building on land. America's full of land that's just sitting there. People own it and they don't go put it to work. They don't do something with it. If you go to Europe, I was in China in December, and I flew from one side of the country to the other. It was insane. I mean, it was squares of office buildings and then a square of apartment buildings, like trying to count the stories. 40-story apartment buildings. It looks like Monopoly buildings. Just, 35 of these 40-story apartment buildings. Same color, same shape, same layout, same, some of them turned one way or the other, but a whole bunch of them jammed into a square. And then all the squares around it were hoop houses. Not mega farming like you see when you drive across the U.S. A big fancy tractor and fancy irrigation, and the same crop planted the same distance from each other. The seeds were put in the same depth, and when one disease comes through, it just takes out the whole crop, instead of having lots of different plants next to each other that support different kinds of bugs and bacteria and things that kind of offset each other. So as a disease takes over one, it can't get through the next plant because that one's got the antibodies to it. I mean, a lot of nature has different plants next to each other living in symbiosis that happens. And so a lot of permaculture more modern, I don't know if it's modern farming, but returning to historical farming, mixes up the plants, one after another, maybe threes or fours or fives, different things, different bugs, different bacteria, different organisms living in the same area, whether you know what they are or not, help offset each other and keep you from having to use so many pesticides, insecticides, biocides, all the chemicals and fertilizers, as it helps regenerate the soil. So in China, I'm not saying China's perfect. They got a lot of stuff going wrong, but they've got these hoop houses, and they're doing that. I've toured some of them, and some of them are doing aquaponics. Some of them are doing vegetables I've never heard of, fruits, things I've never heard of, never seen, and ones that are totally normal, like tomatoes and cilantro and cucumbers and celeries and normal looking stuff to me. And none of them were all the same. Like each hoop house had multiple different plants going in it, and it usually was that way because it was like one family or one person taking care of that hoop house, and they're trying to shake up what they're producing, trying to do high efficiency farming in small areas because that's all they get. And just flying from one side of the country to the other, it's like a sea of these hoop houses in between blocks of apartments and offices and cities that are like stamped out, just copy machine style. None of that land was sitting there vacant, unused. Like the U.S. is so rich in vacant, unused land. I don't know how to explain it. So I think we should be taking advantage of that. We should be putting it to work. I'm not saying go build a hoop house and grow all your own food. That'd be fun, but this land is there for you to do what you want to do with in the U.S., not in China, not the other side of the world. And it's cheaper here than it is in China. It's cheaper here than it is in most places of the world that I know of. Land is really cheap in the U.S. And my website's got some of the cheapest of it, and I'll try to keep serving it up. So where was I getting to? Let's go back to the comments. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. Core logic, yeah. Next one, skip. This is the longest video I've seen from you. Yeah, hopefully. It's just the stuff I love, right? I could go 24 hours going through deals. I don't know if anyone else would follow along with me, but that's usually what I'm doing anyway. Answering the phone and reviewing deals. Companion gardening, exactly. Stacked living over there. Yeah, stacked living. I can go on and on about China. I was just using China as an example because it was one of the countries I recently visited. I was more recently in Stockholm or in Sweden or Thailand or others, but China. One of the buildings we stayed in, my brother-in-law is renting an apartment in. Maybe 20% of the building is occupied, and it's like downtown French Quarter, fancy part of town in Shanghai. Rent was something like translating it's $8,000 or $9,000 a month. It's like a 2-bedroom apartment, and that's expensive to me. That's really crazy, frigging stupid expensive. And a lot of the other stuff around there was crazy expensive, and but these places aren't on debt. Americans, when Americans own stuff, they borrow money. They borrow money because they want to buy more and more and more and more of it, which is a tool. It's a tool that can be used very well, and it's been used a lot in the U.S. to build lots of assets, build lots of wealth, and make us a capital center of the world. China, they have a different culture. They save a lot more of their money. They spend a lot less of their money. They save, 30, 40, 50% of what they make. And they invest it into something. And one of the things they believe in is real estate. And so they buy real estate. They buy it from developers. A developer builds one of these 30, 40 story buildings. They don't have the money when they get started. They start selling the idea that they're going to build it. And then they sell some of the units. And they sell some more. By the time the thing's built, they've got most all of it sold. Maybe the last 10, 20% of it's not sold. They go sell that for the profits. And then they're starting into the next one. And the people that are buying them are paying cash. They're not going to the bank and asking for money. It's cash, 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 cash. And then when they're sold that idea and that dream, they believe they can rent it out for the $8,000 a month or $10,000 a month or whatever crazy number to make the returns sound stupendous. And when they don't get it, they don't get it. They don't say, oh, I got to pay the bank. I got to pay my bills. I got to pay the bills. Let's just drop the price so I can pay my bills. They believe the thing's going to go up in value for their kids and grandkids. They don't care if it's not rented. They're not going to like lose face and rent it at a cheaper price. They're going to hold on to it and wait till somebody shows up that's willing to pay that price, that they got the sales pitch that they think they can get out of that place. There's one person in the building got, my timeline ran out on the call waiting, on the hold. So that, that's the difference. That's Chinese mentality from what I learned. Someone's saying, did any of you catch where the seminar he's scheduled to speak at is being held? Yes, it's being held in, I believe it's Huntington Beach in Los Angeles. And if you go to Land Academy's website and you look for live events, it's the one in September. So they've got 2 live events coming up. I'll put a link in the video below. I'll put a link in this video after I'm done with the video. I'm just making some notes for myself. And I'll link to that so you can go look for it. And there's 1 seat left at the first one, and I think the second one's got more seats available. And then, let's see what else they're saying. Yeah, cash is the best way to go, exactly. And so with these small dollar vacant land properties I've got, it emulates some of that model, like cash. I like cash. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I like cash. I don't like using debts. I'd rather be the bank loaning money to people than the one borrowing from the bank. I don't like the math of paying interest, paying. I don't like, maybe it's not so much the math. I don't like the lifestyle, I think is a better way to put it, of being in debt. The lifestyle of being in debt is ingrained into American culture. It's, you go to school, you get there at this hour, you get out at that hour. They're already teaching you in like kindergarten. They're teaching my kids in kindergarten to show up for a certain amount of time and you get a certain reward. And then going into the job force, you clock in at this hour, you clock out at that hour, you get paid this much money. But you're trading time for money. I don't like that. I don't think that makes sense. I hope my kids can learn that from me, that it's, I believe, for my opinion, it's better to use your intellect to create capital than to trade your time for money. And so this whole cycle of going to school, putting your time in to get your degree, to get a job, to put your time in to get your money, get a mortgage to get your house, you can have your kids, you can have your wife, you can have your car, you can have your clothes, you can have all your stuff. It's borrowing from your future and promising that you will show up to work to get that money to keep making those payments. Because if you don't have that solid cash flow coming in from that job, not the fluctuating, I run my own business stuff, but the solid money that comes in every month that banks love to loan on, credit cards, everybody, you sell your future earning power of that money to trade for the stuff that you believe you need to fit into that culture. And then you have to go to that job. You can't quit. Your kids need a place to stay. Your wife needs the whatever she needs today, this week, this month. You know, your lifestyle grows over time. You have better taste, the more educated you get in food and culture and art and hobbies, whatever. You start buying more and more and more stuff, more activities, more travel, more things along the way. And it makes it harder and harder and harder to save part of that money that you make, because it's going towards debts from stuff you bought in the past. And then if you finally realize it and the light bulb goes off and says, I don't want to work here the rest of my life, I don't want to get up at this hour to go do this same thing every day, you have a heck of a hard time getting out of it because of those debts. And so if you can avoid those debts, if you can stay away from those debts, if you can live a little more minimalistic life, like Mr. Money Mustache is a website I like to read. It's a blog. He's been doing it for a while. It's about minimalism, right? And just the minimalism movement. There's a lot of people that package it up and sell that, but I think he does it in a way that speaks to me very well, maybe to you guys as well. Yeah, peddling profits. Lifestyle is the right word. We're all programmed to be in debt. I know, right? We're programmed to be in debt. We're programmed to be Americans. We're programmed to borrow, and we're programmed to spend everything we can, whether it's in our hands or not. And part of buying land, going off grid, going homesteading, is getting out of that rat race. It's walking away from the fancy clothes that you need on credit card to fit into the crowd, to get the job with the shoes and the car that you can park in the parking lot at your office, to show up on time, to buy the lunch that you got to buy every day to fit in, $10, $15 lunches or whatever. Doing that present value on that. How much does it cost over time? I was the only one in my office who didn't buy lunch. And not saying that's right or wrong or whatever. It's a different mentality. Just stop buying all the stuff that you're supposed to buy. Culture says you have to buy, and invest it in things. It could be invested in land deals or hundreds of other kinds of assets. I believe in land. You can buy it for cash. You can sell it on payments. And all of a sudden, you're the banker. You're the one collecting interest. You're the one collecting. And do a bunch of those together. The payments can start paying for your own place. And the more of them you do, the easier it is to save. That first one is the hardest. First one is always the hardest. And it's easier if you get a small dollar one and start out like in Arkansas or something. And build up from there. Buy the thing for, I don't know, a couple $100. Sell it for $1,000 on payments over a couple years. As the payments start coming in, buy another one. Save some money. Skip lunches. Skip buying the stupid whatever it is that's on your shopping list. Buy some more land. Sell it on terms. The money starts coming in. It makes it easier to save next time. Easier and easier and easier. Because when you start looking at stuff to buy, you could say, I could buy land or all these other kinds of assets that other people are peddling that are investments instead of products. And I could have that money probably for the rest of my life. I could put it to work again and again and again, and it could grow, and it could invite its friends. Money has friends. Friends always show up if you keep track of it and you take care of it. Its friends like to party, and it grows. And that can change your life over time. It can be huge. So, Lonely Prepper Home says, saying, get a degree and still owe thousands of student debt you can't afford to repay. Exactly. I got so much student debt out of school. My wife took a lot of student debt too. We both got whacked with student debt. We both got higher educations, and yeah, geez. Okay, so I keep getting off. Yeah, paid off the stuff when I was young. Agree with you and Dave Ramsey. Yeah, thanks, Dave. Roxanne. Yeah, Dave Ramsey. I mean, there's a lot of guys that promote the same idea. It's packaged and presented different ways. It's the idea, I think, could be ingrained into our culture a lot more from the get-go. Yeah, it's why I want to get 3 to 5 acres around Sholo. Okay. Bought excellent lunches daily. I just powered through lunch and the whole day. I worked harder than any coworkers. Yeah. Till you go get your own homestead, then you'll work harder than everybody and their brother building it and putting it together. But you can do it on your back and your sweat and your tears and your ingenuity, and hopefully skip a lot of the bills doing it step by step that way. Instead of just buying one that's all ready to go. So I believe I've gotten through the chat. Hopefully I didn't miss anything in there that meant something. And I want to circle back to ask a question to give some land away. So in the beginning of this video, we were talking about the winner from before. And so the winner from the previous video, I was asking to put what shape of house plans together. Find them, figure them out. This is a video from last week. So if you watch last week's video or you watch the beginning of this video, you'll know what shape of house. And it's it could be like one key on your keyboard and you win a free piece of land. So, and you've got to have not one before or be working with me or for me in some regard. And you just got to type that shape of that building in there, and that we've been talking about in the past, in the beginning of this video and in the previous live video. It's one that I dream of building someday because I think it's simple, easy, lots of roof, low cost. yeah, just same thing as land up over my head here. Easy, cheap land. I want an easy, cheap house. So, yeah, TK does. I just tried to call you about land I wanted. I'll try to call you guys back. I got a big list of people to call back here. I'm trying to call back as many as I can. Yeah, so I'm gonna look back here and make sure I don't say it too fast, but I think we got a winner. Melanie saying it twice. I think she's out of the gate twice, Melanie, and I'm pretty sure, I'm just looking at my, I'm darn sure Melanie's never won before. I'm just going through my list here. We're at 35, well, one's a title. 34 people have won so far. With Melanie, there'll be 35 pieces of property that I've given away. And yeah, so Melanie was the first one to say A-frame. She spelled it wrong and then she hit it again. She typed it in twice before anyone else got it in there. So she's either got super fast internet, or she's on the ball, she is ready to go. So Melanie, M-E-L-A-I-N-E, Melanie, if I'm saying that right. Please send an email to Gilian, G-I-L-I-A-N. I'll type it into the comments. You can cut and paste it. At Rural Vacant Land. So Gilian at ruralvacantland.com, and put in there your title. I want to know the title you want to own this property in. Whether it's, like we were talking about before, a trust, you can set up a trust, or it could be your personal name, or your kid's name if they're hopefully of age, legal age to sign off on selling it or transferring it or whatever. You and your spouse, you could put your church on there if you wanted. You could put the Red Cross. You could put whoever, charity groups on there. We can sign it over to them. We'll send it to them. They get a piece of land. They can figure out what to do with it from there. A lot of charities get land. I bought land from different charities over time. They usually scratch their head, don't know what to do with it, don't want to pay the bills on it, like the tax bills out into the future someday. They get a couple of years worth of tax bills, and then they're like, forget it, I don't want to own this. But Melanie, you could have me sell it. I could sell it for you if you want me to. I charge you 50% of the profits on it. That's above and beyond the cost of what it cost me to buy this thing to give you. And I'll sell it, get turned into cash. It'll take a couple months. There's a disclaimer on there. Someone was just asking for March earlier, where's my land? And I got to catch up. I mean, I've been doing paperwork to get land out to people, but I want to make videos about each one of them, tell people about what land they have and describe it so you know where it is and what it looks like and what you got, and you can decide what you want to do with it from there. But if you want me to sell it, let me know, and I'll sell it, turn it into cash, send you cash. And if you want to trade it for some other land, we can do that, but I don't pay a huge amount of money for this. I think you're going to get more money out of it if you let me sell it and use that money to go buy some other land with, either from me or from whoever, hopefully from me. And if you like selling land, I mean, if you start seeing the numbers I put into these deals, because you're part of one, and maybe you want me to buy some more of them for you, 5, 10, 20, 50, 100 of them, whatever, and go sell those too, make some money on them. We can both make some money on them. I think that's a great way to partner in these properties. I can find them, figure them out, or you can pick them out off my website too. I can buy new ones, you can do old ones. Simplest way to make money on these is to buy them for cash and mark them up, sell them on terms. Just do the time. So thank you, everybody. Thanks everybody that's listening, watching, everyone that's saying congratulations and awesome. Yeah, congrats, Mel. And let's do it again. Let's do it again next week at 9 a.m. Monday morning, 9 a.m. And I'll try to, maybe I'll stack the deck with land deals that look a little better out of the gate, and show you some good ones that we should actually buy instead of skip. And maybe a mixture, maybe I'll just do some off the cuff ones, but I want to do more land deals as they're coming in and show you what kind of stuff I'm filtering through to give you the ones that eventually show up on the website. So thank you, everybody. Talk to you later. Till next time, peace out. Later. Bye.